So let's take a look at analyzing data from votes. So you were asked to vote on your favorite social media app, and I gave 4 apps to vote on: TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. So here's one possible way somebody might have voted. Now, I have collected all of that data. So here's a summary of it from Google. So I can see in first place, if I only counted first place votes, remember what method that is? That's the plurality method for declaring a winner. We only look at the first place votes. You can see TikTok is the winner just based on first place votes. Instagram is second. Snapchat is third, followed by Twitter last. And we have overwhelming evidence here that Twitter is last because that was most people, most people picked Twitter as fourth place. So just looking at the plurality method, we can declare TikTok the winner. There are other methods. Since we have a preference ballot, we can put that together. So when I do a survey like this, a vote like this on Google Forms, I can take all of the data and look at it in a spreadsheet. So I'm going to show some spreadsheet analysis next. So here I have a row for each person that voted, and I get a timestamp there. And then the first column is based on the question option first. The question option second is this next column. Question option third is the next column. Question option fourth is that last column. Now, whenever I do collect data from a form like this, it's important to not edit the first tab, because anytime somebody completes the survey, their entry gets placed in the next row here. So I don't want to mess with this right now. So if I need to mess with this file, I make a copy of it, put it in the tab, look over here in the summary 2, delete this stuff. Actually, if you just pick up from line 25, let's just do that. Line 25 was the last one. I want 26 onward. 6. So this is the new data from last time I looked at it. And I'll come back to this one in just a minute. On tab 2, and I can share this spreadsheet in the video below the description of the video. Here is where I just programmed each cell to look in the form responses tab. And in column B, count if it sees A2 here is Instagram. So if it sees the word Instagram in column B, it's going to make a count of it. And so the computer, using the count if command, is counting 10 times Instagram showed up as the first vote. It counts Snapchat as appearing 9 times, TikTok as appearing 12 times, and Twitter as appearing once. Okay, so I just show how I did that. So I'm just maybe delete this column, show you how I could do the second place ones. So I'm going to use the command called count. A lot of different count commands. I want the one called count if, and it says, what do you want to count from? So here I'm looking for the second. So I'm going to go over to this tab here, and I'm just going to highlight everything in the second choice column, which is column C there. So it's going to look in that column and comma my criteria for counting. So in that column, if it sees whatever word is over here in column A, it's going to count it. So I'm just going to put a parenthesis around that to finish it and hit enter. And it's going to want to fill down, which is fine. And when it fills down, instead of looking in row 2 for Instagram, in row 3, it's going to look for Snapchat. In row 4, it's going to look for TikTok, and 5 for Twitter. So yes, I do want to autofill that. So that's how I created all these other cells right here. So I can see second place votes. I have Instagram got 10, Snapchat got 16, TikTok got 5, and Twitter got 4. So what I can do with this preference ballot I had is I've just made a preference, preference schedules on the next one. I just did a summary of first, seconds, thirds, fourths. Now, what I can do with this is, if you think back on the methods we've used, I can use the board count to then deal with this. And the board count says the last place gets 1 point for a vote. The next to last place gets 2, the next gets 3, and then the first place in this case will get 4. So it's kind of reverse point of their order of choice. So first place gets the most points, second gets 1 less, third gets 1 less, and so on. So I can just set up a calculation for that. So I'm going to go over here, And I'm going to set up the Borda count calculation on the spreadsheet. So that's going to be equal to the number of first place votes times 4 points, plus the number of second place votes times 3 points, plus the number of third place votes times 2 points, and plus the number of fourth place votes times 1 point. So that's the calculation we do for a Borda count. And it's basically the same calculation for each row. So when I hit enter, Google is going to say, hey, do you want to fill that formula down? I'm going to say yes. So it'll do the Borda count for each of them once I do the first one. Oh, it didn't fill it down. Okay, let's fill it down for it. So Instagram got 92 points according to the Borda count. Snapchat got 97, TikTok got 88, and Twitter got 43. So if we were going to, again, the plurality method says only look at the first place votes, ignore everything else. The Borda count says, no, second place and third places are worth something, they're just not worth as much. So according to the Borda count method of analyzing a preference ballot, Snapchat got the most points. So it is the favorite app of our readers or our users according to the Borda count. Next favorite is Instagram. So it kind of gets a second place overall by the Borda count. TikTok gets third instead of being the winner because we're looking at more than just first place votes. So it's third place, third overall. And Twitter, because we only have 4 choices, is last. And again, that's the Borda count. Again, if I pick on one of these, like let's pick on TikTok just to make sure it was calculated right. Notice the color coding. Let's blow this up a little bit. The B4 is saying take whatever's in this cell right here and multiply it by 4. Take whatever's in cell C4, the maroon, multiply it by 3. Whatever's in cell D4, that 10, multiply it by 2, right? So it filled down correctly. It's doing the correct Borda count. So according to the Borda count, TikTok got a total of 88 points, which doesn't compete with Snapchat's 97 points. So including all first, second, third, and fourth place choices in the Borda count, the favorite app is Snapchat. Now let's take a look at some other methods. Like, do you remember those Condorcet's criterion where we look at every one-to-one pair matchup, right? So Instagram versus Snapchat, Instagram versus TikTok, Instagram versus Twitter, Snapchat versus TikTok, and so on. So just matching them up in pairs. When we do that, I'm going to need a new sheet to do that one. I'll zoom out a second. And most of these can be analyzed on a spreadsheet pretty easily. The computer automatically counted these once I put in the right formula, and once I put in the right formula, it did the right count. The next stuff is going to be a little bit trickier. So what I'm going to do, let's see, easiest way to do this. I think what I'm going to do is sort these by first, then second, then third, then fourth place. I'm going to highlight all of them. Whenever you have related data in a spreadsheet, before you sort, highlight everything that needs to stick together. Right. So for example, row 3 is a particular person. I need to always have their votes in that order when whatever row they end up in. Then I go to data, sort range, and I'm going to do an advanced sort here. I do have a header row selected. I don't want to select by the time they took it. I want to have first sorted by the first place selections. Now, some of those first place selections are going to have the same second choice. Some will be different. So I also want to then sort by the second place option. And then some of those may or may not have the same third place. So I want to sort by third and then by fourth. So this will order my whole list by first place, second place, third place, and fourth place. Let's take a look at what it's like. All right, and it's, just putting them in alphabetical order, right? So Instagrams are going to come first, then Snapchat. Now the Instagram voters, let's just look at this block here. Let's do the coloring and need that for now. So the first place Instagrams are this group right here. And you can see some of the people that put Instagram first put Snapchat second. Some put TikTok, some put Twitter. Of the Snapchat group from Instagram to Snapchat, you can see some of those Snapchatters did TikTok next, some did Twitter next. So each So what we need to do next is like, what are the different possibilities of orders first, second, third, and fourth place? Well, if you have 4 choices for first place, if you pick one, you now have 3 choices for second place. Once you pick that, you now have 2 choices for third place, and then 1 choice for fourth place. So we have 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 total possible ways to order Snapchat, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And in this next, I list all possible ways to order those as first, second, third, and fourth. And 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 is 24. So there are 24 different ways those could be sorted out. How many different ways did we end up with? So those preference tables that you had in your book and in the homework, somebody had to compile the data. So that's what I'm trying to do right here. How do I compile this data to make a preference table to analyze the votes with some other method? And mostly people write computer programs to do that. I don't happen to have one. All right, so let's see. So I'm just going to do some highlighting here. So Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, Twitter. So that's 3 people did their votes in the same order there. So let's highlight that one. And then we've got Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, TikTok. We have a bunch of people did it that way. So let's highlight that group a different color, but you guys get to be light blue. And then Instagram, TikTok, chat, Snapchat, Twitter. So basically we just need to go through this and see, okay, what different ways came up in this. And I tried to make that other table kind of in a similar order, and we might skip some. So we can just leave that one white. This one is on its own. We just ranged through a few different colors here. Snapchat, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter happened a bunch there. Got light blue. So again, we just got to find some way to keep track of the different ways things occurred. So the group of 3 there, is white. And then TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter occurred 3 times. Let's go back to yellow. TikTok, Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram, Twitter occurred a whole bunch of times. That was a popular one. Light blue. Blue's going on. TikTok, Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram occurred twice. So we didn't get all of the 24 variations, which that often happens. You don't end up with all of them. So that one can stay white, and this one can go yellowish. All right, so this right here is the first step at coming up with that preference table from the preference ballot. And we can then identify these in that other table to see which ones we have. So Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, Twitter. Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, Twitter. Okay, so we definitely got this one right here. And how many votes did that one end up with? It got 3. It happened 3 times. So in the preference schedule, we would put 3 here. Next one to occur was Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, TikTok. Okay, and that should be the next one in order. Yeah. How many of those did we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, it's dangerous to count by hand. I should figure out how to program the computer to count those for me, but I didn't have time to do that yet. And there's so much time in the day. Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, Twitter occurred twice. Instagram, TikTok, Instagram. That looks like this one right here. Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, Twitter. Yep. And then Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat. Instagram, Twitter. Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat. Looks like this one here. Double check. Instagram, Twitter. Yep. This one right there. And then we switch to Snapchat in the lead. So Snapchat, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. S-I-T-T. S-I-T-T. That happens to be this one right here. How many of those did we get? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A cool thing when you highlight, bottom corner tells you how many you just highlighted. I highlighted 6 items. So double check the count there. All right. Kind of tedious, but someone's got to do the work to analyze the votes. STTI is next. STTI, that would be that one. And STTI, 6 here, we counted it. That's 3 votes. We get next, we get TTIS. So I just used initials on the page, right? We got that 3 times. TTIS, that's that one there. Here, we're almost done. How many of those are there? There are 7 TTSIs. TTSI, there are 7 of them. And next, let's write 7 here. Just keeping track. That's the thing about math. You got to find a way to keep track of what you do, otherwise you lose track. TTSTW. TTSTW, there are 2 of them. TTSTW. This will be the next one. Cool. And last but not least, Twitter. TWIS. 1. TWIS would be this one. There's one of those. The rest didn't get anything. So now, once we have a preference ballot like this, we can use the other methods that we have. Like we can look at the Condorcet criteria. We could do set up an instant runoff with this. Just any of the other ones that were on preference ballot. So I'm gonna stop there. The big things I wanted to show you are, how do people collect votes? Somehow there has to be a way to collect the votes. Then once they get the votes, that data needs to be recorded somewhere, and then the data needs to be analyzed. And it has to go from this rough form of raw votes per person to these different summary tables to analyze the votes. That's that. All right. So take care, do good math. I will see you in the near future.